Okay, we're going to start recording. Of course, my name is Brian. Thank you very much for attending. I'm not sure how many people I'm going to expect. It's the first time I actually publicized my webinar in public like this. Anyways, I'm sure some of you know already that I've got this new academy started. Not sure how many, if you guys could type away, how many of you guys taking a look at this? I just want to know what I'm dealing with in terms of who's seen what. Or do you want me to just, okay, cool. All right. Thanks, Victor, for letting me know. Okay, so let me just start where everything is. I'm not sure who's a member, like a premium member, but the genesis of this academy was started just due to the fact that I've got so many postings in my premium membership that I needed to consolidate everything into one place. So that's what I've done with this academy. And a lot of people ask me, where do I start? How where do I go to basically start learning about trading, quant, and all that sort of stuff. So that's why I pieced this membership together, or sorry, this academy. And basically, I'm going to show you all the different functions in this site. So obviously, if you don't know, I'll just put this in here. Hang on here. I'll give you the where I'm looking at. This is the URL that I'm looking at right now. So to come under register course, there's 4 tracks. There's basically if you want to learn R with trading, if you want to learn Matlab with trading, if you want to learn about open source trading and some of the platforms that I use or will be using, and as well as pure high-frequency trading algorithms. So let me do a quick poll. It's not very scientific, I know, but let me know how many of you guys use R and Matlab. So let's say for R, just type away yes, you use R, or have an interest in R as a prototyping way for algorithms and trading strategies. Okay, so we got one R, that's R, thank you. Anybody else interested in R? Okay, Jackie said yeah. Anyone else? Okay, what about Matlab? Now do the same thing with Matlab. I just want to see where there's a more general interest, if it's Matlab or R. Anybody using Matlab at all, or have an interest in Matlab? Okay, Victor's using R but not using. Okay, what about Matlab? Anybody else? Okay, Jack says studying. Okay. Anybody else using Matlab at all? I realize R is probably going to be the more popular one, obviously, because it's free. Let me think here. Okay, why don't we start with the R then? Okay, so under R, what I've done was when I started looking at all the different ways to build algorithms, especially for quantitative analysis. I originally started in Matlab, and then I just started realizing, well, maybe I can't afford Matlab, and I started looking at R. So basically, that's where this comes from. All these 5 separate courses. So let me explain how the structure of this all works. So if I go back to my let's just leave it, keep it simple. Buy all our R courses. So if you register your course and say R courses, you can just come under here. Or under here, which is where I'm at. Okay, so basically how each module works is we have different courses, obviously. Some courses are divided up into modules. So for instance, here we go. So this course here, our course with mean reversion and pair trading, I'll separate them into separate modules, and then each module will have its own unit. So basically, maybe you've seen a unit. Basically, how I've structured it is once you have access, you get a hyperlink. So in this case, I have I think access to this thing. So basically, how it works is usually I'll give a private video for this unit or lesson, and then you usually get a file sample with that. So and then I'll have some detailed links to understand on that particular topic. So in this case, it's obviously a checklist of forecasting this whole winners and alpha, beta, gamma, all that stuff. So that's what a typical unit would look like. And then you typically, let me just go back in here. Typically how it would work is you just go through it, and then you just mark as completed, and then you can move on to the next unit. So what will happen is when you come back in, when you get access, we'll just do a refresh here. What should happen is, yeah, because once you move on to the next unit, you'll get this little green check mark. It means you've completed that unit and you move on to the next unit. Pretty simple stuff. That's how each course is set up. Pretty simple stuff. So let me break down what we have in each of these courses. Typically with R, obviously it's free. Obviously there's a lot of different R packages. So what I've done is I spent, I'd say, 2-3 months going through sites like R bloggers, and I'm not sure if anybody has gone through that, looking for any related postings that would be helpful for people, and what works and what doesn't work. So I've gone through all those and posted only those that work. And obviously those are the ones that I've included as the source file. So here we have an R course on technical analysis. I won't go into too much detail of what each unit is. We have another one on quant with Garch. With quant and I focus a lot on forecasting the markets. So in essence, there's I've broken up this quant type of thing with R into two separate courses. Garch, because there's so many Garch packages out there, I've dedicated one whole course around Garch, and then anything else is just basically put it into this course, in the R course with quant. So yeah, so within this course you'll find things like ARMA. I fooled around a lot with ARMA, Monte Carlo simulation, Markov chain, Bayesian, all kinds of cool stuff. And then we have another course that's dedicated to mean reversion and pair trading, and they're segregated, as I said, into each separate module. And then we have one on arbitrage and volatility. Now, the pricing structure of all these courses is pretty simple. In my case, you can buy all 5 courses for this price here, this one right here, or you can just go individually. So let's say I'll choose one of these courses of this guy. So it's only $47. So it just depends upon what you're looking for. As I said, you can buy the course individually or together in the R track or R stream. So that's how everything's structured. Before I move on, anybody got any questions about these set of R courses at all? If you want to type them away, I can unblock you or unmute you if you want to go voice your question. Anybody got any questions at all? I hope I'm not going too fast. Nope. Okay, Victor has no questions. Now, also, I need to let you guys know, I've currently got a little promotion going on for the members. Are currently a premium member. They get full access to this course, or to all the courses. I'll show you the pricing on that, and it's $697. So they get free access to that. And I've set a new deadline. This is the promotion right here. And it expires on June 30th, okay? So if you become a premium member before that date, you will get all these courses for free as part of the membership. And that's going from $100, and after this date, as of July 1st, may raise it up to what you see here in these pricing here, just so everybody knows, okay? So anybody else have any other questions about that? No, maybe. Okay. Okay. So anybody got any other further questions on R before I move on? Okay. Let me go to my main section here. Okay. What I've done earlier today is some of you may or may have not known that I have another section called R blog, and I'm just going to type it up here. This blog section is going to get deleted over the next probably day or so. But no fears. I've moved all this content into the Academy. So all these postings here that you see how to install R onto CentOS Linux is already in the Academy. Not sure what I'm going to do with this content for just strictly R, if I might include it as part of the courses, or may leave it free. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, but yeah, that's something I'm considering, just so you know. And there's about 80 separate postings on various R articles that I've gone through, including R CPP with C++, R inside. Oh, I've done a lot of here. Parallelization. So if you're really into R, go through these if you can. There's, like I said, there's about 80 of them. Any questions on that? As you can tell, I've done a lot of stuff on R. Like I said, I spent about 3-4 months last year going through it all. All right, let me go on to the MATLAB. Okay, if you come under the Bio or MATLAB courses, you'll see a special video. This video I'm highlighting here because this is a 32-minute video. I explain why I'm moving everything, like all future analytics and strategy development will be put into MATLAB as opposed to R, and I explain that in this video. I'll go through all the courses for MATLAB. What I'll say is with MATLAB, it's a lot more. You can do a lot more with MATLAB. I'm not sure who's seen what in my YouTube videos or my blog, and why I explain why I think MATLAB's a lot more advanced than R. I mean, I realize there's a fairly expensive product, but I figured out ways to defeat that by providing source code with a headless version of MATLAB, which means that you can use the calls into MATLAB through something like a C# or a .NET. Now, before I proceed, I've been trying to get this survey. In terms of trading platforms, how many of you guys use Java versus .NET? So let's first do Java. If you had a trading platform for order management or execution, how many of you guys would use a Java-based platform, open source or not? I just want to see if anybody wants to type a yes out there, like you did before, with either R or MATLAB. Anybody using Java at all? Let me ask you this, same concept. How many of you guys are using Linux? Linux-based users, any out there? Okay, that's what I thought. How many of you guys are based off of Windows? Just give me a yes. Yes. Arb, is that yes? Okay. Okay, so everybody's Windows, majority. Now, I appreciate all the answers. It really gives me a good direction. How many of you guys, versus not Java, but how many of you guys would use a .NET trading platform, open source, like a Tradeink? Just give me a yes again, so I know. I'm just trying to see. Okay, so we do have a yes. So I am to assume that most people will go .NET versus Java, which is good. All right, so I'll talk about that in the next set of courses. But the reason I bring that up is because of MATLAB. When I develop a MATLAB M script, which is the programming language of MATLAB, I can co-generate that, or I can basically turn that into equivalent of a .NET DLL from MATLAB, and then you can use that and access that from something like a Tradeink, like a .NET trading platform. So that's one of the strategies I'm going with to make life easier for people that do not have MATLAB. Does that make sense for people? What I'm saying? Just give me a yes or no, and I'll try to explain it again before I go on to the big bad world. Okay, yes. Anybody else? Yes. Anyone confused so far on what I'm talking about? Just give me a no, and I might try to explain it a little easier. No, everyone's all cool? Okay. All right. So as I said, I've been pretty well leaning towards this direction, is using MATLAB for my prototyping and analytics. Now, I realize it's an expensive product. as I said, I can develop all my code and then deploy it royalty-free with the headless version of MATLAB. So that will enable people that join my community or whatnot and still be able to access the functions of what I provide through this headless version of MATLAB, basically, which is a DLL, or what they call a dynamically linked library. And that can be linked in from a C# or a Visual Basic, or even, I think, from Excel. All right, so any questions so far at all? Okay, before I start explaining MATLAB and the courses and why I'm more moving towards MATLAB. I guess not. Okay. So as I said before, I've shown you the video, where to go, and why I think MATLAB's I call it my girlfriend because I spend so much time with it. But if you have used R, and there's packages, there's something called Toolboxes. So in MATLAB, and what MathWorks, the vendors provide all these different toolboxes, and that's where you're paying the bells and whistles, and you're paying extra add-ons for these extra toolboxes. So there's 2 dedicated toolboxes for trading, or I mean, there's a lot more than just 2. But the ones used for market forecasting, specifically for equities and forex, which pretty well little guys like me use. They have another set of toolboxes for options and fixed income. Those are dedicated toolboxes more for institutional traders. Can everybody hear me so far? Just want to make sure everyone can. I got a message that my mic might be okay. Can everyone hear me? Okay, cool. Just got a message from GoToMeeting. All right, moving on. Okay, so let's talk about these toolboxes. So there's a big one for market forecasting called MATLAB, or Economics Metrics Toolbox. Okay, so these are all the different units. You can see it's quite a lot. There's 17 units included in this toolbox course, and then there's another one for the financial toolbox as well. So both of these cover really, really powerful things. If you get into really advanced quant, you can do things like Garch, random walk, Garch is used a lot. This little guy here is very powerful, the Financial Times Series GUI tool client. You can do so many cool things with this toolbox. It's just amazing. And I've not yet seen the ease and power you can get with something like that in R, but you'll be able to see that in this course. I'm just trying to think of any highlights. Things like max, drawdown, things like that. And then you got unit root testing for pairs trading and blah, blah, blah. I could go on and on about that. Then we have the financial toolbox. Again, these are all separate courses. So we have 8 units here. And again, you can do things like, has a very powerful technical analysis functionality in this toolbox. So you got RSI, MACD, Williams %R, OBV, a lot of regression testing, ARMA. You can do some calculations for your Sharp, adjusted return, maximum, likelihood, ordinary least squares, simple regression, mean reverting, Greek analysis. Some very powerful functions in this toolbox, in the financial toolbox course. So moving on, I still went ahead and started looking at other toolboxes that could be used for trading. And as you move into the more mathy kind of toolboxes, I've had to end up basically combining all these other toolboxes into separate courses. So I've got 2 courses, one dedicated around signal processing, stats, and math. Another course on system identification, wavelength, and optimization, and curve fitting. So that's another separate course. But moving on to the previous little course here, I've got signal processing. It's not like you can do for trading, but you can figure out cross correlation. If you're going to use stats, obviously that's a very powerful one within MATLAB. There's something called ANOVA, copulas. Definitely distributions is a big one, obviously. K-means clustering, Markov chain, PDF stuff, PCA. So these are all explained in the this particular module. Also, there's the math one. So some of these may be a little advanced for people. Again, I'm not a math expert, never will be, never have been. I do my best to explain the principles, but I'm more focused on the code and the function of that particular math type, whatever you want to call it. So in this toolbox, again, these are what I would figure you could use for trading. Cholesky, fast Fourier, ordinary, ODE, simple PDE, all kinds of stuff as you can see here, eigenvector, eigenvalue analysis, some pretty powerful stuff. And then we get into, this is another big course here, system identification, wavelet optimization, and curve fitting, again for trading purposes. So again, if you want to do Brown motion analysis, doing PCA, this is all in the wavelet. Optimization, not much you can do with it. Nonlinear minimalization. And then curve fitting, where it gets kind of interesting here with these units. Surface fit, rational fit, programmatic curve fitting, smoothing, curve fitting, all kinds of stuff. As well, this, I'm going to give you a little heads up. Consider this a bonus. This is probably a very, very powerful toolbox for trading. I've not seen anything like this at all. And what it can do is it can do 6 types of analysis on the fly by looking at a time series, and you can build prediction calculations off it on the fly, and this can be all done in parallel. It's a very powerful toolbox. You know, there's I can't remember, there's R Max in there's one analysis type, neural networks another. This is a really, really exciting toolbox. A lot of potential with this one. Okay, now I'm going to take a Q&A if you guys got any questions about these set of toolboxes. This is quite a bit for people coming into MATLAB. It's a lot, I realize that, but that's MATLAB. It's just it's a huge world that you can do that you cannot do, I find, with R. It's just a more mature product, a more polished product. Anybody got any questions so far on MATLAB? You just type them away. I can unmute you. Anybody? No? Okay. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. This is the last one. This is the most exciting. I don't know if you guys have followed me about Simulink and Stateflow, which is part of MATLAB. This is basically where you can visually build models, and I'm not going to get into a Simulink tutorial about it, but I've got a whole course around this. It's unbelievable, and I provide a lot of demos around this. The powerful thing I really like about Simulink is that you can visually build a model with Simulink and with Stateflow, which gives you a lot of event-based triggers and all that. And that can be also done visually as well by building these charts. And the powerful thing about Simulink is that you can basically take your Simulink model, which is a visual representation, instead of coding it, it's a visual representation, and then you can co-generate it into C, C++, or you can also co-generate it into FPGA. For those that don't know FPGA, it's a specialized hardware card that is burnt with an algorithm or a strategy, and it's dedicated just on a hardware level. When it comes to high-frequency trading, FPGA is definitely the way to go. It's a very expensive path to go down, but the nice thing about Simulink is that because you're building a model visually, you can go one of 2 paths. I won't say a click of a button, but pretty, co-generating it. I won't say easily either, but it's better than building it from scratch or hand coding it. You can build it for either, as I said, C or C++ or FPGA. It's just a very powerful option, something very powerful I plan to get into down the line. but a lot of my emphasis will be put on the Simulink down the road. I've got a lot of courses around this, and the other thing is when you build it in C++, and you get the code, or C, you can turn that into a dynamic link library, again a DLL, and then you can drop it into a platform like, let's say, if you follow me on Deltix, which is a very industrial grade trading platform, or anything that is able to talk to a DLL, you can import this into that platform. And you can also do the same thing with the open source Tradeink as well. I'll get into that in a second. Any questions about Simulink at all, or Stateflow, or what I've just talked about with this particular course? Now, part of this course, I do encourage people to be a premium member because, as I said, I'm going to be heavily doing some planning, building strategies around this methodology using Simulink. And again, when you do join, obviously I give out a lot of C code or the FPGA code, the HDL as they call it. Any questions at all on Simulink or this course using Simulink or Stateflow? Yeah, I would encourage people to go down this path. Unfortunately, R doesn't do any of this stuff. That's why MATLAB exists. It's easily the most expensive option out there, but in terms of productivity, this is definitely the way to go if you can afford it. Any other questions? I guess not. Oh, yes. Yes, it includes everything. Let me, can you speak Ouye? Oh, sorry, Park. I don't know if your last name's Park or Ouye is your last name, or your first name. Just let me know if you can speak, and if that's a comment. Yeah, I mean, MATLAB does everything. It's end-to-end. It's everything possible. And that's why the video I highlighted up here, I encourage you to watch. I'll give you that URL if you want to watch that video. Okay, so as I said, same idea as before. You can get all the courses, and they're all discounted as opposed to getting them individually. Now, it doesn't stop there. I know you're all excited. I have a special set of courses for high-frequency trading. Now, this is very powerful. Even if, high-frequency trading, this is for pretty advanced people that know math really well. What I did with this set of courses, I've gone through a book about high-frequency trading. I used that as a roadmap, and I came up with all these algorithms that were in the book. And what I've done was you get the visual representation of it, basically in scientific notation. And I show these I'm losing my train of thought here. The formula or the equation, and some scientific notation, and also not only that, but I also give a latex representation of that. Now, before I continue, there is a trick if you plan to use MATLAB on how to take a scientific notation, or you can type in a scientific notation algorithm, I guess, through this thing that MATLAB has called MuPad. If you want, I can giving you the secret sauce here. Yeah, it's called MuPad, and that enables you to basically type in a equation found in, let's say, a research paper. In a research paper, let me just pull and give you that URL if you are interested in it. And this whole course is built around that. Basically what you can do is when you take an algorithm that you see in a research paper, let's say, and you want to basically type it up, you can do that, and then with MATLAB, with this MuPad editor, you can then convert it into a formula that MATLAB can work with. And then from there you can generate a script for it. And then from there you can use it within your MATLAB M scripts. it's a really powerful way and an easy way to do that. Actually, I have a YouTube video on that. Let me think here. I can give you that info. Let me just see if I can. I'm sure it's somewhere in here. I'm not sure if this is my video. Let me just see that. If you hear any sound, that's because of the YouTube video. Yep.
Hey, Brian.
Okay. So this is the video here for the MuPad, and I show you how to do that with the MuPad editor. Very powerful methodology. So going back to the courses, this is what you're able to do with these algorithms and be able to convert them into a MATLAB workspace. So these are very advanced. So you get advanced pair trading, arbitrage, and autoregressive, and different scenarios, liquidity arbitrage, statistical arbitrage, market neutral arbitrage with CAPM, market inefficiency, co-integration, of course, using the Engel-Granger test, autoregressive, autocorrelation, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to get too much into it. But again, it's really meant for high-frequency trading or advanced trading. And it's again, using quantitative analysis. Okay, and we have another course here. Now, what I've done was I've got one specific for backtesting and another one what I call measurement. As you can tell with this particular one for backtesting, it's just one unit really, evaluating point forecast. I don't know if that means anything to you, but I've got another little module here called Simpler Algos. Shows you how to calculate simple rate of return, average return, log return, algorithms for skewness, kurtosis. This is really meant for options, periodic or simple rate of return. And then we get into the meat of it with all the, as I said, measurement. This could include impact cost, Sharpe ratio, counterparty risk, market risk management, limit order, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so that's these algorithm courses for really HFT. And then, let me just take a moment. Anybody got questions on that at all? I hope everyone's still out there. This is more like this set of courses is really kind of more advanced PhD and whatnot. I would imagine. Anybody got any questions at all? You're a quiet bunch. Any comments? Anybody want to say? Oh, here we go. Okay, in R, most of the tools I find analyze charts. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of data in the options data. I haven't found anything that can analyze chart patterns while referencing options data in a meaningful way. Since options is my course, this is important for me. Getting intraday options data is another obstacle. Okay, Victor, can you speak? I can probably help you out here. Be able to speak? Just give me a yes or a no. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna unmute you. Victor, you out there? You can speak, Victor.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, Victor, how you doing? Okay,
All right.
welcome. Thanks for joining.
Oh, thanks for inviting me.
Oh, no worries. Okay, so you do options trading, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and how involved are you with R? Like, are you pretty significant with it? Like you know?
No, not at all. I'm just starting to put my toes in the water.
Okay. I mean, right now, as an asset, I'm not really working with options, but I can't really talk about a lot with R, but I can give you some hints about MATLAB. As I said, there's some dedicated toolboxes for options trading. There's one called derivatives. I believe it's called derivatives. Let me go to Google here. I believe it's called derivatives.
I've actually looked at MATLAB, and I've worked with a salesperson there, but quite frankly, it's cost prohibitive.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, there's a lot of power that you get with MATLAB. In terms of intraday, I put up a video about how to capture data within MATLAB. So that's not usually a problem. In terms of chart analyzing, again, you can use the MATLAB curve fitting. I'm sure the curve fitting could be used there as well. Geez, in terms of R, that's a tough one. So that's a problem with MATLAB. Actually, I'm trying to think of any. Can you have my email at all?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, can you send me a question on it?
Yeah, I'll do that.
And then I'll try to get back to you individually on it and see where I can help you out in the R, because I know R can do it. It's just, yeah, I think there's some good tools. I could probably post your question elsewhere and probably get a better answer for you with some of the better experts I know of in R.
I mean, I've done I've tried to do a lot of research. There's a lot of obstacles when you're trying to incorporate options data, because I mean, just getting data itself is an obstacle, right?
Yeah.
But it just seems like, you know, I've been trading off of charts for many years, but when I started getting into options, I started realizing that there were a lot of things that I was doing with charts that wasn't giving me the whole picture.
Yeah.
And so, but now, you know, when I started moving into options, a lot of it is more discretionary.
Right.
I don't have the right tools.
Yeah. Actually, Arb's brought up a point that he says a lot of HFT houses are using Octave, which is a open source clone of MATLAB. So again, I don't know a lot about Octave, but if you're going to go down that path, I would probably stick with Arb because it's a lot more mature, a lot more advanced compared to Octave.
Right.
If you're going to use kind of MATLAB or a clone, I would stick with the Real McCoy. Again, as you said, the cost is probably prohibitive for you.
Yep.
But if money was no object, you could. By the sounds of it, you could probably definitely do it within MATLAB. Because there's some toolboxes I can mention, like I said earlier, what could work for you. But yeah, just email me your question on R or just your needs, and I'll see what I can do to bounce it around. How good is your skill set when it comes to .NET, like C#?
To be honest with you, I usually hire somebody to take care of those things for me.
Yeah, because if you need that, I know some people that can help you out there at an affordable rate. I take nothing out of it just to help out people. But they might be able to help you out if you need like chart analysis packages. I know some really powerful chart analysis packages in Java. But again, you got to choose one or the other. I know it probably won't make much difference for you in Java versus .NET. But again, we can break it down. Go ahead.
I don't. I mean, I use TradeStation now. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, you know, the scanning tool is kind of weak because I like to look at daily data intraday, and their scanner can't do that. So you have to go. You know, you have to do the math and you know, multiply out the the period you're looking for to kind of try to get daily data, which doesn't always work out. These are the kind of the challenges that I struggle with.
Well, a decent open source trading tool, open source trading project I can recommend. It's called AIO Trader, I believe. You might want to look at this just to get a reference, just to see if it will work for you. It's a very powerful charting package. It's open source, so it's free. You get the source code, but it's in Java. This might fit your needs. Is Interactive Brokers your broker?
Yeah, yeah. Although I use TradeStation, I just use it for the charting package.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Here's the thing: is that it does include Interactive Brokers TWS, or as a connector for Interactive Brokers.
Yeah. That's what I got.
Yeah, it's experimental. That's the challenge. But at least you'll get kind of you know, like in terms of you know, intraday tick data. Now I know again, MATLAB can do everything that you need. I use IQFeed as my provider. I just tested it yesterday. It works great with MATLAB, and you get the powerful charting capabilities of MATLAB. But this is the problem with obviously open source, because you got to kind of piece it together. And with MATLAB, it's all under one hood. If you're under one, you know, container, I guess you could say.
Right.
But unfortunately, you have to pay for it. Yeah, I'll try to help you out wherever I can.
Paying for it is not a problem if it was within reach.
Yeah, I hear you. Like I got a quote for all the goodies and bells and whistles I wanted with MATLAB. They wanted over $125,000. So yeah.
That would put me way out of business. I trade for myself and nobody else. You know, I'm not making a fortune. I'm just, you know, making a living.
Yeah, well, like I said, email me your specifics and I'll try to help you out wherever I can.
Okay, great. I'll do that.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to put you back on mute. Anybody else got any questions at all? Anybody else? I can move on. And just for you, Victor, this may help you out as well. This next course. Okay, let me show you what we got here. Okay, this is the last course. I haven't shown anybody this yet. Trading software. Okay. Now what I'm about to show you, there's 2 units within this set of courses. Maybe this might help you out, but for you, Victor, but you got to be a pretty strong programmer. I'm looking at a platform called Tradeink. It's probably the most popular open source trading platform out there. It does all the execution, connects to a lot of cool providers, interactive brokers, obviously, IQFeed, my 2 choices. It's a very powerful platform. Yeah, Victor, this is a really good course here for you. Basically, I have access to it actually. What I've done in my early days, there's about 5 videos here. I don't know how long they are, but they might be half an hour. There might be 2 hours of videos here. I can't remember the total amount. What they contain is first, Tradelink is kind of high-frequency trading capable. It can throttle about 350,000 transactions per second. For an open source platform, that's quite a lot. And if you're trading at 350,000 transactions per second, I probably recommend you to go on a better trading platform, because if you're at that level, you're trading a lot, probably in a multi-million-dollar capital. But for small guys, this is a great platform. So what I've done was I've given details about, obviously, how to build the platform, give you an introduction on the different components, and there's some sampling on how to bridge R Matlab into Tradelink. Not only that, but I've also investigated other ways to do it. But if you are going to bridge or take, let's say, your code from MATLAB and deploy it into something like Tradelink, the best method and the lowest latency method is to what I call co-generating from MATLAB. So you build your MATLAB model in MScript, and then you can co-generate it into C. So Parker's got to leave us. Okay, no problem, man. Thanks for coming on out. No worries. Yeah, so that's the Tradelink course, I guess you could say. Let me just show you the other one. Now, this is for options. QuantLib is another open source project for very powerful for options, but it's very advanced. It's built in C++. They also have a C and Excel front end to it. That gives me an idea, Victor. This might be a good option for you. Now, come to think about it. If you were an advanced programmer, you have QuantLib, the how to build it, and then there's the QuantLib Excel with a front end using Excel, and then how to build that, the QuantLib Excel. There's some demos with the Excel front end to it, and then you can also extend it into other languages like Python, R, Java, and C#. Yeah, that gives me an idea, Victor. This might be an interesting path you could go down for free or for very little investment. Okay, so let me suggest this. I've got QuantLib Excel. I can suggest if you want really powerful options trading library, you could use this. As well, there's a product I've looked at called XLQ from QMatrix. Now, this product is really powerful. This is another one that's built around, oh, you know XLQ. So, oh, you've used it, great. So maybe if you could combine the QuantLib Excel and the QuantLib, this might be a really powerful way to get access to an API for options trading. But the problem is, how do you execute your trades? For analysis, this would be great because you can use the front end charting with XLQ with the QuantLib Excel and the QuantLib as your back end. Hopefully that makes sense to you. If that, give me a yes or no, Victor. This is something you might be able to use through Excel as well. So that's something you could look at where you don't have to have a lot of powerful or a lot of deep knowledge in C++, let's say, and just focus on Excel. So it's something you could look at. Okay, so that really pretty well sums up all the courses. And let me take you to, we have a support. So if you want to get started, just register. Of the support ticketing system, just create a new ticket. Once you've created it, it comes to me, and we deal with it one-on-one. Hang on here. Victor says I can look at it. I've used XLQ as a library for DDE calls into Excel. Yeah, so as I said, you may want to look at the QuantLib Excel to somehow have them talking to each other. Just putting it out there. Back to the support. Yeah, so this is just a basic ticketing system. Now, one of the other things I'm really trying to promote in the next couple of weeks is the forum. I put this up here for people like you so that you guys can talk to each other, not just me, and build a community around it. So, again, I'd highly encourage people to use it. There's not many people on it right now. Last post was like 4 days ago or something. So, yeah, I'm hoping people use this forum, and we can, yeah, build a community out of this. So that pretty well wraps up the Academy, and the last thing I have is the R content, all the R stuff that I've also mentioned here. That's pretty well it. Anybody got any questions about the whole thing at all? Anybody can just type them up. I can unmute you, anyone who wants to be unmuted at all. No, Victor has no questions. Arb, Jackie, you guys got any questions, or gals? No? Okay. Arb, you have any questions? No? Okay. Okay, well, let's do a general Q&A. You guys got any questions that you looking for any tips in trading or anything? Or anything you want to ask me? Pretty well anything. I'm an open book. Try to help you out wherever I can. You guys got any questions on, I don't know, anything you need help in, or comments, or criticisms, or hate mail, or anything? Opportunity. Opportunity knocks. No? Nothing? Nobody? You guys got anything you'd like to add at all? No hate mail from me, okay. Well, if that's the case, what I'm doing right now is I'm typing up my email. So if you guys have any questions, you can always reach out to me on that. You can always register here in the QuantLab Academy. And you can send me tickets as well through the support. Anybody else got any questions at all? All right, well, I was hoping to keep it under an hour. It looks like I managed to do that. Anybody? Questions? I usually do a going once, twice, and three times. And then if not, we'll just call it a wrap. And then what I'll do is I'll stop the recording and post on YouTube for all who'd like to see. Okay. Anybody going to go? Oh, okay. So Victor, yeah, please send out an email. Anybody else? Questions? Arb, Jackie? Okay, so we'll do a going once, going twice. Okay. Arb, going 3 times? Nope. Okay. I guess we're calling a wrap. So what I'm going to do is do another webinar, probably a general Q&A for people, probably the next couple of weeks. Same idea as this, and is 7 p.m. okay for you guys? In Eastern Standard? I'm not sure whoever. Okay, Victor says yeah. Arb, Jackie, you guys out in the U.S. or? Okay. Oh, Arb's in Hong Kong. Cool. I was concerned about guys like you. Okay, so I guess 7 p.m. works. Okay, we'll keep it at that. All right, so I'll give it a good evening, I guess. And thanks for coming out. Hopefully you got some, learned some stuff. Anybody got any questions? Last chance, I guess. No? All right, well, I guess we'll call it a wrap. Thanks again for coming out. I'll post this online somewhere, and hopefully everybody's all cool. So have a good night, and I'll talk to you guys soon, and have a good night. Thanks again. Talk to you later.